Hi everybody and welcome back. In this lecture you will learn how to work with medical image data stored in a NIfTI file format by using a Python package called NIBabble. But in a first step we will take a look at how to convert DICOM files to NIfTI based on the head MRI scan from the previous lecture. It can be very useful to convert DICOM files to NIfTIs, as NIfTIs are way easier to handle. One tool which helps us to perform this operation is called DICOM to NIfTI. At first, we can define the path to the DICOM files. This path is identical to the one from the previous lecture. However, as we do not need the pathlib functionality in this notebook, we can directly define it as a string. Now we are ready to call DICOM to NIfTI.convert_directory. We pass the path to the DICOM files as the first argument and the path where we want to store the resulting NIfTI as the second one. For the sake of simplicity, let us simply store the converted NIfTI in the current working directory. Please take a look to verify that this function worked properly and the NIfTI file was successfully created. We will now proceed to the process of reading and exploring NIfTI files. At first, we import the necessary libraries. We of course use NIBabble, which allows us to handle NIfTI files in Python, and matplotlib again to visualize some images. The single NIfTI file we created above contains the complete three-dimensional head MRI scan. We can load it by using NIBabble or nib.load and pass the path to the NIfTI file as its argument. Great! We just loaded the full head MRI scan with a single command. Awesome! To inspect the header or metadata of this particular NIfTI file, you can simply print the NIfTI object. In contrast to DICOM files, the NIfTI header only contains relevant information about the image or the volume, such as a fine matrix and shape. No information about the patient is kept. Note that we will discuss the affine matrix and its use in the next lecture. If you want to retrieve a single header entry, you need to access nifti.header and then use the name of the property you want to extract as its index. As an example, in this case, we extract the value for q offset x. You can also extract the shape by simply accessing the shape attribute. Now it is time to extract the actual image. You can extract the image by using the getFdata function provided by all NIfTI objects. So let us store the image in a variable called imageArray. Then we access our NIfTI object and finally call get_fdata. This is really similar to PyDICOM. Instead of accessing the pixel array attribute, we call the get_fdata function. To visualize the brain MRI, we are going to reuse the code we already wrote in the last lecture. At first, we create the figure and axis object by using plt.subplots. Again, we use a 3x3 grid with a figure size of 10 by 10. Now we define the slice counter and initially set it to 0 and use the double nested for loop. We now use I and j to access the current axis object and call the imshow function to visualize the current slice. Note that the conversion to NIfTI shifted the axial slice from the first axis or channel to the third. This means that in order to visualize the given slice, we need to use the colon operator to retrieve all pixels within the first and second axis. We can then proceed to use our slice counter to visualize the current slice. We set the color map to gray to get a more realistic plot, and last but not least, increase the slice counter by 1. Perfect! By converting DICOMs to NIfTIs, we can significantly reduce the time and complexity of accessing the images. As you may have noticed, in contrast to the previous lecture, our brain MRI slices are rotated. The reason for this is also the change of orientation when performing the DICOM to NIfTI conversion. We will talk more about orientations in the next lecture. We can not only use NIBabel to load NIfTI files, but also to write them. The reason why you would want to do this is that many times you will obtain image data as the results of an algorithm or a pre-processing step that you want to store. As an example, we will use the three-dimensional volume from above and perform a simple pre-processing step. We will then save this resulting volume as a new NIfTI file. We apply a very simple threshold to the image and set all pixels or voxels that have a value smaller than 300 to 0. In code, we can simply define a new variable called ImageArrayProcessed and then multiply our original image array with the Boolean array returned by the statement ImageArray larger than 300. This expression returns false or 0 for all pixels that have a value smaller or equal than 300. In contrast, it returns true or 1 for all pixels that have a value larger than 300. Now let us take a look at the results of this pre-processing step. We simply plot an individual slice, in fact slice number 13, to verify visually that our method worked. To do so, we at first create a figure and then call plt.imshow, where we pass the 13th slice of our original image array. Additionally, we create another figure and again call plt.imshow, where we now pass the 13th slice of our processed image array. And as you can see here, the result looks almost binarized. Only the brightest regions are still visible after thresholding. To be able to store this processed volume as a NIfTI, we have to create a NIfTI image first. To do so, let us define a variable called processedNIfTI and then use NIBabel.NIfTI1image. This function creates a NIfTI image based on a NumPy array containing the volume and an affine matrix. As we only changed some image pixel values and nothing regarding the orientations, we can simply pass the affine matrix from our original NIfTI file. Last but not least, we can save the processed image using NIBabel.save, where we pass our processed NIfTI file as the first argument and a desired save path as the second one. Congratulations! You now know everything you need to know to work with NIfTI files in Python. Thank you!